for joining me. Today we will be focusing on the sciatic nerve and ways to relieve pain or pressure off of it. So go ahead and come forward into a child's pose. You can make it your own with knees together or knees apart, and find your place here. Reaching towards the top of the mat, let your forehead rest on the mat or a block, and try to send your hips closer towards your heels or deeper towards your mat. Drop into your breath as you become aware of your inhales and your exhales. Just begin to notice yourself in this space, in your body, where you are in this moment. Then we'll walk our hands towards the right side of the mat, just beginning to stretch through that left side body and breathing through our ribs, expanding. Take one more deep inhale on this side, and then begin to walk your hands towards the left side of the mat, breathing through the right side body. Whichever side of your body you feel the pressure or pain on your nerve, make sure to emphasize lengthening and stretching through that side of your body. Take one more deep inhale and then begin to walk your hands back to center. Find your breath here. And then we'll begin to come forward onto our bellies. So make your way there any way you feel comfortable. We'll come into Sphinx pose with our elbows stacked under our shoulders, lifting up and out of your shoulders. We'll have our face directly forward. If you'd like to go deeper, take your hands directly under your shoulders, coming into upward dog, a little bit more of an intense back bend. And then begin to take some neck rolls in either direction, releasing tension throughout your upper body. Press your big toes together, maybe look over one shoulder, and then the other. Returning to our bellies, we'll press back into a tabletop position, and this might be where you stay. If you'd like to go all the way into downward facing dog, feel free. Otherwise, you can mimic the motions in tabletop. Walking out our dog, if you're in tabletop, feel free to kick one leg back, moving forwards and backwards, just finding this motion in whatever position you're in. Go ahead and lengthen through your spine, maybe stretch out your shoulders a little bit. And then we're going to take our right leg up towards the sky, pointing the toes, maybe circle out the ankle, perhaps you bend the knee, take some hip circles. Just find that motion to lengthen and stretch out your hip. And breathe here. When you've had enough, replace your foot on the mat. Walk the dog a little bit, find your balance, and then go ahead and take the other leg up and find motion on this side, opening up through your hips, moving around the muscles. Finding a few more circles, and then replacing our foot to the mat. Walk your dog just a little bit more, and then extend your right leg long, hug in the knee, and then replace your right hand with your right foot, coming to a low lunge, drop your back knee, untuck the toes. Then inhale, lift upwards. We're going to come into a twist, so make your base as stable and comfortable as you can. And then placing your hands at heart center, we'll inhale upwards, and then exhale, twist towards the right, perhaps hooking your left elbow on the outside of your knee. If that's not a possibility, no worries, just keep twisting towards the right. If you'd like to add a balance, tuck your back toes, and lift that knee. Find stability here. You can take any arm variation you'd like, extending your arms or keeping them at heart center. Just being sure to lift your chest up and not collapsing in. Go ahead, release, and come back to this low lunge, untucking your toes. You may want to grab your blocks for this next posture, so go ahead and do that, placing one on each side of you at whichever height is best to serve your body, and then press back into a half split. If you find that your bum comes all the way to the ground, you may need to readjust, coming forward, placing your ankle closer towards the top of the mat. Go ahead and adjust your hips into line here. Find stability in your blocks. Lengthen upwards. And then exhale, fold forward as deeply as your body allows. Nothing should ever truly hurt in yoga. If it does, always back out and only ever go as deep as your body allows. Breathe here. Then releasing, we'll come forward into this low lunge. Placing our hands back on the mat, we'll take our right leg back, coming into a tabletop or full downward dog. Find some motion to reset. And then lift your left leg up towards the sky, hug it into your chest, and replace your hand with your foot, dropping down into this low lunge on the other side. Inhale, lengthen upwards, hands to heart center, and then exhale, twisting towards that left, finding your depth and stability here. Maybe taking the challenge, tucking those toes and adding the balance. Finding your variation, staying connected with you and your breath. Finding one more deep inhale and exhale on this side. And then we'll release back to the ground, coming forward into the lunge. Grabbing our blocks, placing them where we need them, and pressing back into half splits. Being sure to keep our hips level with each other. Lengthening and then folding forward. Making ourselves comfortable in the uncomfortable. And breathe here. You're always welcome to move in or out of a pose, depending on what your body tells you. And trust yourself. One more deep breath here, and then coming forward, releasing, placing our hands on the mat. We'll come into a tabletop position and directly into a child's pose, making yourself comfortable, regulating your nervous system, reconnecting with your breath. You can take an arm variation of placing your hands together and taking them overhead. Just whatever suits you in this place. Inhale and exhale. And coming forward, I'll move to the side to give you a better view, but we'll come into a seated posture. Moving into our seated postures, Be sure that you're grounded through your sit bones as we plant the right foot and bring the left foot in towards our glutes. The right foot can be on the outside or the inside of your left knee, and we'll just begin to gently pull that right knee in towards our chest, lengthening our spine up. This might be where you stay. If you'd like to go deeper, hold on to that knee as you begin to twist towards the right side of the room. Maybe you even hook your elbow on the outside of your knee and gaze over your shoulder, breathing here. You could work towards a bind, reaching your hands towards one of another, and stay connected with your breath, stretching through your glutes, your hips, your chest, just being open, feeling a little bit more vulnerable. And then we'll release this twist. Coming back, we're gonna move into cow facing pose. So keeping your left knee pointed forward, we'll just begin to pull our right foot towards our glute, stacking our knees on top of one another. This is too intense. You can keep your right foot planted and begin to just gently press down until the knees meet each other. If you'd like to go deeper, stack your knees and press them down, maybe even begin to fold forward. This can be quite intense on the hips and maybe the glute area. So breathe here. Find where you're comfortable, find your edge, and settle in. Breathe into any places of tension or stress. And then come back out, releasing and twisting our legs and bringing it to the opposite side. So right foot in towards your glute, left foot on the outside or inside of your knee. And find your place here, hugging your knee in, twisting, elbow on the outside, or even going as deep as the bind. Being gentle on your shoulders and your elbows in this place. And send your breath to the areas where you feel the tightest. Lifting your chest up. Begin to release, untwisting, and coming into cow facing pose. We'll stack our knees on top of one another, our feet by our glutes. If you need to find a middle ground here, feel free to. Being gentle with your knee. And then going as deep as your edge allows. Our hips and glutes can become quite tight through a sedentary lifestyle, so stretching them out regularly can help us avoid things like sciatica and tight hip flexors. Take your final breath here. Then we'll untwist as we make our way to our backs gently. Becoming comfortable here, we'll keep our feet planted. Coming into a figure 4, we'll take our right foot and hook it on our left knee, pressing the right knee out from our body. This might be where you stay and feel a good amount of stretch in your hips. You want to take a deeper interlace fingers behind your left leg and begin to pull your legs in towards you. Maybe take your right elbow and press it into your right knee, adding to the stretch a bit. And then find your place here, inhaling, exhaling, flexing your feet. Give your legs another good squeeze. And then release, bringing your feet back to the mat, or just take it to the opposite side. So left foot hooked on the right knee, pressing that knee out gently, and then finding your place, stretching those hips out, flexing your feet, and then dropping within yourself. Inhale and exhale. Pull it in just a little bit tighter. And then release, bringing our feet back towards the mat. We're going to find some organic movement, so bringing one knee in or bringing both. Maybe you begin to roll. Maybe you alternate knees. Roll out your ankles a little bit. You could flex one leg up towards the ceiling and then the other. Just doing whatever feels best to your body. Finding what's natural for you. Stretching the hamstrings and the hips and glutes are super beneficial for things like sciatica. And bringing both knees into your chest. Hold them tightly, releasing the lower back. And then go ahead and replace your feet to the mat, taking them out to the side and beginning to windshield wiper your knees from left to right. Just beginning to slow down. Being mindful of our bodies and also grateful for all that it's done. We'll come into our final resting pose, reaching our legs out and turning our hands palm up. And just get comfortable here. If you can't lay on your back, you can roll onto your side, maybe propping yourself on a pillow or covering yourself in a blanket. Just making yourself as comfortable as you can. And then releasing tension throughout your jaw. Maybe relaxing the shoulders a little bit more. And letting your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Release. Be present. Every time your mind wanders, just bring it back to your breath. Gently noticing your inhales and your exhales. Beginning to melt into the mat. Savasana. Returning to your breath, we'll begin to welcome movement back by wiggling our fingers or our toes, just building in small increments, waking ourselves up, maybe rolling the wrists or the ankles out. And just like it's your first time waking up today, reach overhead and stretch from your fingers all the way to your toes, taking in a deep breath. Slowly make your way to a seated position. If you'd like, you could roll to your side into a fetal posture. And just breathe here, staying connected with yourself and with your breath. You're welcome to join me in a seated position. Taking in a deep breath. So inhale, reach up overhead, palms touch, and exhale, draw your hands through heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was able to bring you relief. Namaste.